that it will have to be done in stages. First off, Heller versus DC basically said that you couldn't stop one sort of carry, either concealed or open. And that being the case, then we think there's strong grounds that they will have to allow us to carry one way without a license. And it would probably be open carry. A lot of people think that's already legal. But it isn't, hadn't been since 1910. Somebody says it was when I was a little boy. They were getting on up there a little longer too. But we are working on it. We would like to get it done. But, and I hate this explanation, but we lost our rights about that much at a time. And we got to get back. Unfortunately, we've been getting back this much.
I applaud your effort.
But now we've accomplished so much in the last 4 years that we're getting to the point where we don't have huge things that we can accomplish. So we have to go in and start eating at the foot of the elephant until we get the whole thing eaten. But that is on our horizon. And I just wanted to say, you apparently didn't hear Chucky Schumer. Y'all are all extremists.
Yeah, I hear him way too long.
What about, I know there was a big stink about what happened on MARTA, I think last year. Somebody was basically putting a weapon in their belt and then putting the shirt over it, and then went in, got on the MARTA, and then they got harassed by the MARTA police. From what I understand, you can carry openly or concealed on MARTA supposedly, but then they didn't, I don't think they allowed the guy back on the train.
Well, we fought a lawsuit over that. That problem was taken care of in SB 308. The judge went back to some off-the-wall statute that had to do with hijacking. So due to the fact that and they said conceal basically, due to the fact that the judge said in his ruling that he couldn't carry concealed meant that he could carry openly. If he had been carrying openly, they wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. We addressed that. And now the license is then the license was not an element of crime. But that was addressed, and you can carry on MARTA. The funny thing about MARTA is that when HB 89 was passed in 2008, July 2008, everybody was all concerned because we could carry on MARTA. We're going to be able to carry into restaurants. And everybody was saying people are going to be shot in restaurants because their steak's too well done. Two guys are going to get up, bump into each other. They're going to be drawing off on each other. 2,000 bus drivers for MARTA signed a petition wanting a bulletproof shield if that law was going to be signed into law. Since the time that was signed into law, there was one shooting at a MARTA station, and it wasn't on the train, it was up in Lenox when that guy got off sometime last year, and it looked like somebody was waiting on him to get off the train. So the crime rate basically on MARTA has gone way down since that bill was passed, and they didn't need bulletproof shields to get it done. Anybody else?
I'm going to go back and touch base on something just briefly. You talked about hearing noises and going out and investigating. It's a little off topic here, but we've had a couple of situations. We had one about 2 weeks ago that created a pretty tense situation for us. And it was similar to that, where the male went out to investigate, armed, went out to investigate noises, not knowing that his wife dialed 911. And then when we get there, who do we find?
Him with a gun.
And he didn't know we were coming. We didn't know he was out there, so that created a little bit. So, either communicate or just call us and let us come check out. We've had two situations here. One was a couple weeks ago, and one's been a while back. It created some pretty tense situations because lack of communication there that we came up on someone. And another one was not near as bad. The couple started to go to bed, and the wife set the alarm just to arm the house alarm, and instead of arming it, she hit the panic button. And a little bit later, they look outside and see flashlights. And of course, they get the gun, and they go to the door. Luckily, the first thing they see is a uniform. And they're like, oh, what are they doing here? So that didn't turn out as bad. But those can get to be touchy, intense situations. Keep that in mind.
In a case like he was talking about first, I would practice getting prone right quick and saying, "It's me, Sheriff, I'm okay."
Yeah, most of the scenarios that I've envisioned for carrying a weapon out in public would be similar to what happened to Gabby Giffords over in Arizona, where some nutcase comes into a public area and starts taking people out. Would you be, I guess, at risk shooting somebody that's shooting other people or threatening other people if you shot them in the back or take them out any way you can? Same as if they came into a restaurant with a shotgun and held up the cash register and you're sitting one table over. If you took them out, are you at risk there for being hauled in? I guess, what's the scenario from
I
standpoint
think it goes back to
of
what we were
police?
talking about, fear of your life and the life
Right.
of another.
Right,
So it's obvious that they're doing harm to them.
or life of another.
Uh,
That's the key.
touchy situation there, and Jerry may touch on it, is now who else in the room or in the building, or is there law enforcement there, maybe off duty or something that, now who all's doing the shooting? So the ones doing the shooting are the bad guys, even though it may be you, for the other person there, if they're holding the place up or something like that, robbing it with. And I know it's very, we go through some training dealing with off-duty carry. And if we get into a situation, there are a lot of times to where law enforcement, off-duty law enforcement, is encouraged to be a good witness. And this is, I'm not talking about if someone's life is in danger. I'm talking about if just something's going down, a theft or something like that. Because it would create more of an issue if we interjected ourselves into the situation. Knowing we're armed, we jump out with a badge and gun, it may make things go south real quick. Our best position may be to be a good witness. Now, like I say, turn that to a situation where someone's life's in danger, yes, you're going to see someone step up there. But you need to have the badge handy. A lot of people, a lot of off-duty recommendations are, have it around your neck at all times in some way, and if you get in a situation like that, you can just pull it out. Most carry it like in a wallet style or something like that, but it needs to be, mine for example, is one that I can come out and put in a pocket or hang in a shirt or something like that, where it can be visible. And it needs to be, a lot of recommendation on the training for us is that it be in some way in the same hand or same area as the weapon, because that's what's going to be the focal point of people that are looking at the weapon. They're not going to look down here to see if I'm wearing a badge. They're going to be watching the gun up here. So there's a lot of things like that that's risky for us, off duty. But there's a lot of different variations of training that we go through on off-duty situation, what we call off-duty care.
Well, the thing that I worry about the most really is, I guess, from reading too many doggone books. One of them was Tail of the Tiger. And if anybody's read that, it was terrorism, low tech, where they sent like 5 teams, 5 guys each into the country through Mexico, and they just took out a bunch of people at malls at 11 o'clock in the morning with automatic weapons. And I think that that's a real possibility for terrorist strikes in this country, is some low-tech deal like that, where they could take out a whole lot of people in a short period of time, whether it be a ball game or wherever, and that's the only reason I'm going to, probably be carrying, is because of that type of scenario. I can't really imagine any other situation, but what do you think about that? Have y'all been briefed on that sort of terrorism?